Okay, so we're going to start right here, right off the bat. One of the first things people always talk about is that the ark wasn't big enough for dinosaurs. Well, first of all, we don't know how many dinosaurs were already extinct and to what degree. You know, we're years and years into human life. But one of the things is that the idea that frequently told that greater than 99% of all species that ever lived on the earth are now extinct. This number severely inflated, being based on the evolutionary assumption that living creatures have been going extinct at an estimated rate of approximately 3.5 billion years. If that was true, then there would be over 375 million to 1.6 billion species that have gone extinct, which is, we know is not true. So in reality, we cannot know with certainty how many species have actually gone extinct. The amount of documented extinct species only numbers in the thousands, not in the millions or billions. So what I love about this museum and this the ARK Experience Encounter is that you're going to learn more of a biblical scientific understanding of how those two worlds collide.
And some of these are smaller than average bison sizes, so most people are thinking these large, huge dinosaurs and how is this boat going to fit that, which the boat is actually a lot larger than people feel, and that the animals were a lot smaller, so that's how they fit.
He didn't need all of these as long as he had two of these kind. And these kind could reproduce and make their families of these kinds. By using the small amount of cubit, 20.4 inches, our ark measures 510 feet, 85 feet wide, and 51 feet tall. The ark's volume is approximately 1.88 million feet, large enough to contain nearly 450 semi-truck trailers. It's interesting that it likely took about 75 years for Noah to build this. And it's interesting that they didn't even know that it was going to be for their protection during flood until Noah's sons were grown.
The Creation Museum and the ARK Encounter. Will you please make welcome Mr. Ken Ham.
Member of Adam's race, the babe in a manger. That's what we celebrate at Christmas. We should celebrate every day of the year, but we particularly celebrate it at Christmas. To die on the cross, be raised from the dead, and offers a free gift of salvation. And one day there's going to be a new heavens and new earth to come. The Encounter, the Wonder, the video does exactly that in a very powerful way.
Here's an example of the rhinoceros kind and how only 8% of all animals on the ark were actually larger than 250 pounds. They used babies, not full-grown adults. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Just one thought process. here actually is a good example of what we mean by the evolutionary perspective versus the biblical perspective. Right here it says, looks like the rock layers around them. From an evolutionary perspective, it would look like the rocks and layers around the world, and interpret them as the result of a slow and gradual process over the course of millions and millions of years. However, the biblical worldview looks at the same rock layers and sees overwhelming evidence that they were rapidly laid down during the year-long global flood described in Genesis. If you have a biblical perspective, you begin to understand that we are one people with different colors and different cultures, but we are one nation, one world under God, and there should be no prejudice. We are all descended from Adam and later from Noah. As such, we're all members of the one human race. As we've been doing a study in John, it's so fascinating to actually see an original copy of manuscript on papyrus of John chapter 8, verse 14 through 18. That's just fascinating. So we're here in the green room of the ARK, and I'm eating chips. And this is to the stage, it says. And this is such a cool room. There's the Isaacs up there signed it, and the Tallies, and there's Rowlett right there. It's gonna be a fun day. I'm so grateful to be here, be a part of this. Love y'all.
What the light of the world has done for me. My hope, my joy makes me sing.
Couple of days to digest, and then they're good to go for a couple weeks, even up to a month. We only have to feed our snakes one rat every 2 weeks. A quick gliding demonstration for us here. He's been a little uncooperative, aren't you, buddy? And here we go. There we go. You can kind of see him briefly. Predators have no fear of the prey, have no fear of the predators. Predators are eating plants, just like God designed them to do. And the humans have no fear of the venomous animals because there is no venom. He's talking about a restoration. God is going to fix this broken world. There will be a new heavens and a new earth.